Worlds, playing your comfort matters a lot because you're gonna get put in a lot of unexpected situations. So like, you know, for example, I will be the kind of player that if I'm comfortable with the champ in every matchup, I'll just tell my team like, fuck it, man. Like, I'll first pick and give you guys counter pick because, you know, what's the worst that could happen? You know, they counter pick me and I get put in like an uncomfortable situation, but I'm on one of my best champs. But then I'll look at like the NA team's drafts, and honestly, guys, I feel like they're doing the opposite. Like they're getting pressured to play like Worlds meta, and it becomes like this kind of like EP race. Like let's try to paint this picture. You go to Worlds, you feel like you're the underdog, and you are the underdog because when you go to Worlds, you very quickly realize that you're playing all these other teams and they're a lot better than you think. The gap is a lot bigger than you think. Even if you think that there is a gap, you get a little bit smacked in the face and it doesn't feel good. Another thing that happens in the scrims at Worlds is you're playing solo queue. The whole world is watching you play solo queue. And in scrims and in solo queue both, everyone is playing new champs. Like Worlds meta champs. It's a new patch. It feels like a race to be the best at these new champs. So what are the new champs for bot lane, right? The new champs for bot lane are like MF, Lucian. People are playing Aphelios, Lulu. Aphelios was meta for the whole season. But how often did you see MF? How often did you see Lucian? How often did you see Nami and Yumi? Like, these champs are new because the whole season they've been shit. No one was playing them. So Worlds, super high pressure. You feel like you're on a timer. There's a fuse, you know? You're gonna have to play soon on stage. Really important matches, only 6 games. So, you know, what's the move here? Do you stick with your guns? You know, like let's just say that FBI, for example, you know, he's really good at Aphelios. You know, does he stick with Aphelios? Or is he gonna try really hard to learn Lucian and Nami and like MF, blah blah blah? Are you gonna lean into the Worlds meta, or are you gonna stick with what you're good at? That's a really hard decision. I don't think there's a right answer. I'm just telling you guys that's my preference. A lot of the time is I tried to like win the race, quote unquote. You know, like I've tried that. Mixed results. Sometimes I can learn the champs at a you know, really fast rate, and sometimes I can't. It's interesting for the players. Just explaining like why sometimes you'll see them play a totally new champ, be like, what the fuck is going on? Like they kind of suck. It looks like they're first timing it, you know? Like I saw the comments about Fnatic, Niski like died with Trindle like 1 billion times, and then you'll see like, well, you know, what the fuck is this? He's choking at the high, you know, the hardest high pressure tournament, the most important tournament. It's hard. Like you're spamming in a really short amount of time a champion you probably never played before against the best players in the world who are also learning how to play against that champ. They themselves play that champ most of the time, and they're learning how to play against it. In the back of your mind, there's so many things going on. It's like, is it actually good? You know, like how good is it? If it is actually good, is it worth me trying like to stretch my butthole to like fucking learn every in and out of Tryndamere and play him perfectly on stage, first timing it? Like not actually first timing it, but first timing it in a like match, in a real match. Are they gonna have a counter to it? You know, if they leave it up, everyone knows Tryndamere is good. Are they do they have a special strategy just to beat this meta champion? A lot of questions. Like how Amumu was meta and then everyone stopped it, playing it by day 3. Exactly. How many like solo queue games and scrims and hours did every support pour into Amumu and learning Amumu counters and learning the matchup and like fucking bot reviewing the Amumu lane? Like bot lanes are just sitting there and they're watching games, they're reviewing their own games, like they're theory crafting Amumu builds and skill orders and different cheeses they can do. And then by day 3, it's just gone. It's terrible. It's like negative win rates, just losing every game. No one plays it anymore.